Oh,
Sunday night, Petty Boots with Lena Rodriguez
yay.
from her
Yay.
Winterland while we're like
Here I'm in Winter Wonderland and you're sweating. Oh.
we're in the heat dome. Becca will not be joining us tonight. She's still under the weather. Not sure when she's coming back. So we'll probably be on Johnny's channel next week, guys. But you may have to watch. We'll try to post on our community tab whose channel we'll be on.
Yeah. So love to Becca.
Yeah, dental work is not fun, guys. Just saying.
No. And then you have to pay for it as well as go through the agony.
Yes. I have like 2 cars in my mouth. That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
And now there's tariffs on aluminium and copper and everything. We've been in trouble.
So you need a crown back here. It's like that's an actual crown with diamonds and jewels and gold. That's what.
Yeah, right.
Just tell me no more Kit Kats. That's all you have to say. I don't want a crown. No.
Becca may be in the chat watching us tonight, guys, but she's not feeling up to reading tonight.
Fair enough.
Lena, you got any announcements?
Yeah, well, I've secretly started reading again. The reason I say secretly is I don't want to announce it full on my channel because it can lead to too many, or it gets a bit overwhelming. But I'm very happy to announce it here. So if you go to my email, have you got a moderator on this or no?
Yes.
Thank you, moderator. If you'd put up my email, people can get in touch. Because I stopped reading for about a year and then I found I really missed it. It's that engagement with people.
It's fun, isn't it?
Viewers.
Getting to talk to people that we see it on YouTube all the time.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah.
I find what's interesting about reading for yourself or other people more so is this works. And it works for strangers. And you can find out things. They ask you a question and boom, the answer is there.
It's
amazing. This is what works, but this is your tool, and it's interesting that it works.
Yes. But do you find it hard or even impossible to read for yourself?
No. Well, I'm a Gemini, so I'm
okay. You
personality
split the brain and work with the other half. Okay.
He's one of the few that I know readers that can read for himself. I can't read cards for myself. I can meditate and get messages, but I can't read cards for myself.
No way. So you can do a card for the day or something like that.
Yeah.
But a proper reading, because you end up arguing with the cards.
But
what do you mean?
For me, I can't get neutral with it. I either see best case scenario or worst case. So, I got Johnny. He throws cards for me in the after show if I have a question.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you, Lucky Girl, for posting Lena's email address.
Thank you so much, Lucky Girl. Yeah.
Posted it there for a minute. So secretly doing readings again. Lena did, there's a video of me, I think it was way back in 2020 or 2019. You did a reading for me. We did it on Skype and uploaded it. And you did a past life reading on me. And it's really interesting. If you want to see how she does past life readings, it's still in my old videos.
Yeah, they're fun to do. Because I don't do past life regressions, right? I don't think you have to get back into the emotion of being burnt at the stake or anything. What's the point, I think we can learn just as much from the stories.
Yeah. I can do past life regressions and I can regress myself, but I only do them if I'm in person with someone because it's done through self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
So you can't tell if you've got somebody relaxed enough unless you're in person with them.
Yeah, I agree. So the way I do it, it's the story. Yeah. So it's nice and safe.
And when I start looking at past lives, I start getting hits like what country, what time,
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you guys been up to?
Johnny, you still got a class going on, or
No.
that one's starting up?
No. I got nothing. Thank you, LaRonda, if you're out there, for my King of Swords placard. It's glass, so I've been trying not to knock it over.
Doing your best.
I am notorious for dropping something. I think that's just part of my wheel that they said, hey, when he gets to Earth, let him pick up something and instantly drop it on the floor. So there's that. But no, I got nothing.
I watched your saga video last night, Spirits, Angels, Guardians, Ancestors. I love that format.
He's so good at those.
I got to record some more. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
It's the end of the month. It's August already.
Alan is here from Australia, Beekeepers Tarot. Hi, Alan. Mwah, mwah.
So if anyone would like a reading with me, you can go to Jen Lynn Tarot, 2 N's in Jen, 2 N's in Lynn, tarot.com to schedule readings or to buy a gift card for a reading if you want to give one as a present to someone.
That's so nice.
Yeah, next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, I'll be on my channel with Gail doing Sacred Sounds of Coffee. So you can join us there. We do it once a month, the first Sunday of every month.
Oh, it's good to have a formula, isn't it? That you just stick.
I have a fascination with bees, and then I'm like, oh my God, there's a beekeeper tarot.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a beekeeper and he has a tarot channel.
And you want to know the best thing? The queen bee is called Lena.
Synchronicity, coincidence.
And I think he had a second hive where the queen bee is Beyonce. So I'm very honored.
Good company, huh?
The only time you'll hear of us together.
You might need a reading one day. You never know.
You never know.
But y'all go and subscribe. Watch every video. I don't care what you do. I watched making tea. I watched the reading. I watched the bees. I'm fascinated now.
Yeah. And we've got to look after our bees because they're a real bellwether for everything that's going on. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. I get a lot of yellow jackets. I get a lot of bees, but I get a lot of yellow jackets, and they build their nests in the ground, like little holes in the ground. So,
true.
Like you're mowing your yard, and all of a sudden you see yellow jackets coming out of the holes. So I really have to watch it, especially when I walk Lucy outside, my cat, because she'll get around those holes, and I don't want her getting stung. But I grow bee balm and a lot of flowers, so I get a lot of bees in the yard.
All right. Well, at least that's better than Australia. You don't get an 8-foot carpet snake or something.
We have very few snakes in northern Illinois. We get a little brown garden snake that's harmless that you'll see sometimes in the woods or in the garden or something, but very few snakes. A little bit of water moccasins at the rivers. But I think it's because it's too cold here in the winter. They don't come up here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But of course, most Australians live in high density environments around the coast. So it's a bit of the urban mythology of Australia with all these creatures. Right? But where I grew up, there were snakes. And even in our last house, there was a diamond python out there when my friend went to put the washing out. But actually, in real life, most Australians never see a snake,
This is what you hear. The outback is dangerous, full of creatures.
Full of fatal creatures.
I don't do snakes or spiders. Or
spiders, are massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not sure I would ever visit the outback there. Well, guys, we got to start with something petty tonight.
Yeah, sure.
The Oklahoma State School Board Superintendent, Ryan Walters, he's the one, Johnny had us read on him not too long ago, that he's pushing, to have Bibles in every classroom and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And
they were having a school board meeting. Yeah, they were having a school board meeting by Zoom. There were some people present in person, and they had a screen set up for Zoom, so you could see everybody on Zoom. And he forgot to turn his porn off, bless his little heart. So one guy jumps up in the meeting and is pointing at the screen, yelling, "I see naked women! I see naked women!" There's 2 women there that are like, "Yes, I see naked women."
Oh my God.
These self-righteous religious fanatics that got to have a Bible in every classroom and their porn. He needs a porn monitor, Mike Johnson. You need to hook him up with somebody to watch his porn. I want to know how his wife's doing.
Yes. So this is the guy from Oklahoma or Mike Johnson?
The guy from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Ryan Walters. How's his wife taking it that her husband got caught in the middle of a meeting?
It's not just a Bible in every classroom. He wants it taught, that it's historical text. So you have to teach it to the children. And he's, like I said, he's also the one that has it part of the Oklahoma curriculum, that there were discrepancies in the 2020 election. That's being taught to their children.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Walters. Teresa's posting our questions for us. Ryan Walters with an R, not Brian. Yeah, he's those are public meetings usually with the school board. So
let's have a look.
But why?
Oh my goodness. Oh, look, all jokes aside, this is not going to go well for him. Oh my God.
That makes it funnier to me.
Yeah, this is what the Republicans always do, right? They judge everybody. Every waking moment, they're judging someone. But then one of their own, like a reverend who's caught in the act with his pants down or something, they always go, "Oh, well, he's just a man. It's up to God to judge." They always do this flip-flop, right? Oh, dear. I think this is because he was public. Let me put a finger over the nudie bits. I've got my pen ready to do these. It was seen by the people. It was like it's too public to just brush it this time. Bit of fame. Oh, whoops. Here's the tower. Ace of Pentacles. I don't even know what this means. Does that mean he's going to try and buy off people to pretend they didn't see it? I don't quite know what this is. In terms of his wife, Jen, the question could be, I think she'd be going through the credit card statements and going, "What do you mean you spent $8,000 on porn in the last 8 weeks?" I think it's a bit like that. Because
I think she's closing his wallet, Lena, because I get that Ace of Pentacles, but with an ending. Like she is, bam, I am closing that wallet down.
I know, how hilarious. And I think she might be making plans and exiting or kicking him out. But I think it's more her, because these things, oh, look, is it the first time? I doubt it very much. Oh, wow. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, that's me.
What you getting, Jody?
Ace of Swords, she knows there's your information. She's burdened by such information. She lives with him, so she's probably seen a this and a that somewhere, and there's probably a bunch of little OnlyFans type of transactions on the card that And then there's the high priestess. There's something that he may want to have hidden, but she knows about it. She knows that knowledge, but she sits on it. She doesn't say anything because, I mean, it's not illegal. So, I mean, what is she going to say? Why are you doing this type of thing? However, what it does is it creates an embarrassment in whatever religious community that they are in. Close your eyes. This is not really happening, but it really is. And not only that, but everybody you know also knows, because we know. And I'm pretty sure they found out. And I'm pretty sure somebody in Oklahoma reported it, because they have been trying to impeach this man and all these different types of things. So he's a figure in Oklahoma news. And so everybody knows in the church. And so when you walk in there, everybody's whispering, "Hey, did you hear that?" She's embarrassed, but I don't know what she's gonna do about it though.
Go shut his wallet, that's for sure. Because like strength in the home, it's a patriarchal home. You know, it's like the man rules the roost in the home. But now he's put in defense mode, and everybody surprisingly is talking about it. Everybody, even in the Republican Party, they're all talking about it. It would not surprise me if she starts looking into if he has a little lover on the side too. So methinks she's not getting any, because I think she's going to see where's he going for it.
And let's hope she's over 12. Oh my God.
Absolutely. She'll try to keep this quiet, but no, this is going to rage. He's going to regret this. So that's my next question. They've called for an investigation. They've asked him to turn over all his electronic equipment. Let's just monitor how much porn you've been watching.
Who's done this? Sorry.
The school board has
the school board.
Yeah, because he's the superintendent of the school board.
Oh,
so
wow.
Is he going to cooperate? Is he going to turn over all his electronic equipment?
You couldn't wait till you got home. Why did you do this at work?
It's like, here you go. Here, you can have it. I can see his wife handing it over to him. You just look all you want.
So will he hand it over?
Will he cooperate?
After he deletes his browser history. That's destroying evidence, though, isn't it?
Thank you, Edie. See you soon, Edie. It's just a couple of months away.
Oh, Edie, huh? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, no. Look, he's...
Yeah, we're talking about beekeepers and now going to this guy that's got a porn addiction, apparently. It's like he needs a gatekeeper. He needs a beekeeper. Keep his bees in the hive.
Oh, I know. He's in trouble over this with this 5 of Swords. And even if he deletes his history, here's the lover's card. I don't... Was it you, Jen, who said he might have a girlfriend
on
or
the
a
side?
or something?
Yeah.
Young friend.
A side piece.
I think that will be revealed in the computer overhaul. The devil card. Oh, dear. Right, look. And addictions are addictions, right? The volume, I think, is going to be extraordinary with this devil card.
He'll probably say it's because he didn't get to have a Bible in his classroom when he was a kid.
Yes, poor pet. You know. And there's the judgment card. Look, the GOP needs to start running workshops, you know, for this stuff, because really,
oh, this is not going well. Oh, Johnny, what are you getting?
Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords. He doesn't want to. And
no, that he doesn't.
There may be a little Control-Alt-Delete. So I would, if it's on that computer he was caught on, then if it all of a sudden disappears, he destroyed some sort of evidence. I don't know if there's something they can do about that, but there's a bunch of it though. The 9 of Cups, there's in excess. Justice, there they are with the investigation. The 2 of Wands, 2 of Cups. This they're starting, sure, but at the same time they want to talk to people, And like, this is becoming a very big problem for him. This is not, a little bitty
It's
thing.
not being brushed, is it?
No. Because mind you, Republicans don't like him, some of them, because of the whole Bible mandate. And so he pissed off the wrong people. And this expands with the Empress. And so they're coming for thy throat.
Thank you, Roberta. This has been going on a long time. So I don't care if he tries to swipe it clean. It clings to computers and electronics. Yeah. They can still get it. There's a lot of evidence that's going to come out that he's been keeping secret. I'm going to say this. I think his barn door swings both ways. And it would not surprise me if there's not some child porn also. I'm going to say it like that. He's going to regret this immensely. He's going to have a lot of women, a lot of mothers up in arms. They're actually going to harvest the evidence, so they're going to have to go in there. And to Johnny's point, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. So, yeah, this is not going to go well for him. He could end up in jail.
I say this all the time, but it's not always them, but it's always them.
Always them.
It's always y'all. What's going on?
I know. It's that repression.
Yes.
The grand old pedophiles instead of the grand old party,
Well, Raymond says in the comments, the GOP, guardians of pedophiles.
Guardians of pedophiles.
But I agree with you, Johnny. I think it's because they don't like him. They're using this as a device. If they loved him, they'd forget all about it.
Yeah, wash it under the rug. Because they do that, especially in Oklahoma, which is the heartland, the Bible Belt. Just let him get up there, his wife stand next to him with her poor beleaguered self. And God protects us and God helps us and we pray and we counsel with our pastor and da-da-da-da. And the next thing you know, it's all gone.
Yep.
They've done it many times. I was growing up.
Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk opened a new Tesla diner in Los Angeles and Hollywood, where he's so loved in LA. So, of course, the protesters are out in droves already trying to take it out. It's supposed to be, like the roller skating waitresses and, fun rock and roll atmosphere, but it built to look kind of contemporary. How's his new diner going to go? Like, why would you open it in LA? They don't like you there, Elon.
Why would you do this?
You might as well name it KKK on the outside.
May as well.
All the Nazis come here and get your roller skating babes delivering your food to you.
And don't forget, the illustrious Lauren Boebert had the Shooters Cafe.
Yes.
But it didn't go well either.
Thank you, SW. Well, she gave one blowjob too many. That kind of did her in.
Now look what and I think her son's just been arrested or something again.
Wow. Beautiful family.
So here we go with Elon.
A Tesla diner. How's it going?
Tesla diner. I should be using the circus cards. I'm moving to the circus cards for the Tesla diner.
Hull hamburgers.
Well, I get the Hierophant, the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Now, as I tell in the class, every pentacle is not about money. They have scenarios attached to them. Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, as Lena has coined, the mercenary. There's someone here as far as being hired. This may be a temporary thing. Paula Deen did the same thing when I lived in Florida. They pop up a restaurant and it stays open for a certain amount of time and then they close it or something. Because there's a person working here, but he doesn't work there forever. It feels temporary. There's a bunch of little details possibly trying to, why didn't you do this in Texas? You kept complaining about California and the taxes, but anyway. Tower Seven of Swords. There is an upheaval. It's going to fail. This had a bad start from the start with the Seven of Swords. This has nothing to do with you trying to bring cuisine to the people of Los Angeles. This is a scheme of some sort.
There's a long wait line just to get through the protester to get on the in the parking lot.
Can I have a protest with my burger? I love that.
Like, I'm going for a burger. I'll be back in 5 hours. You know,
there's the wall of people. So it is going to be under a lot of pressure, and I mean, I don't think it's going to do very well because he's not beloved in California.
He's so anti-LGBTQ, and there's a huge population in Hollywood, especially. I can't imagine. What are you getting, Lena? How's this going for Elon?
Well, not well, really. Look, Wheel of Fortune. It's like he can't help himself. Like he has whatever he has on the spectrum and ADHD or something. So something occurs to him at 4 a.m, and then he sends his minions out to do it, and then he's forgotten he even thought about it and all of that, right? So I think this is going to land with a clunk with this Wheel of Fortune, because he also has the High Priestess with her secret agenda. Now, what is his secret agenda? Because he's very like Trump. He can't keep anything a secret. So he thinks it's a secret agenda with the Lovers Card to make him more popular with people. He thinks if I have something like this that's just cruisy and cool, people will like me again. And they haven't seen me for 3 weeks. Look at me, look at me. He can't help it.
Let the hate die down.
Yeah, it's not an economic decision. It's not. He hasn't put enough people between him and that project. If he thought it was just a project, no, he has to brand it, name it.
Got to rebuild the brand name because Tesla name got ruined here.
Yeah, so now he's trying to reinvent himself as this. He also has an issue with aging. Let's face it. He's reverting to boyhood by the hour.
Yes.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to put some protection around that place because a lot of people are turning their back on anything he has been worked on.
Yeah.
It's like there's an ulterior motive. This is his lifestyle thing of the rich and famous. So, him trying to hang on to it, I'm getting the LGBTQ community is going to make him regret this. They're going to burden the crap out of him. I don't think it'll do well. It'll probably end up closing. All the money he wants to sink into it to try to make it work. Go ahead, hire some Hispanic people and wait for ICE to show up. This is you, Elon. You're trapped in this now. He does have some ulterior motive, but that sense of nostalgia is going to break down. It's not going to do well.
Yeah, it's staggeringly stupid by any standard.
He's not just like Trump, because he actually has a couple dollars to his name type of thing. But back in the day, for those who knew Trump, you knew him. But for the rest of us, I didn't know who he was. He was the billionaire real estate tycoon who was on The Apprentice. Elon Musk was the Tony Stark who was making all the inventions and all this type of stuff. They chase the fame and popularity. Then you find out who they actually are. Now everybody hates you. Like, I don't care what you create. Doge is tapped on your forehead and will never go away. That's all people are ever going to see for the rest of their life.
The swastika will live forever on his forehead.
I worry about his third party, though, because people have short memories. Many people are annoyed with both the major parties. I really worry about that. Should we
he
look
could
at
be
that?
seen as the savior.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's getting stronger. We read on it a few weeks ago, but let's see how his third party's doing now. Is it getting any more strength behind it?
because the public is a treacherous creature.
He's a Temu Tony Stark. Y'all crack me up in the comments. I have to say, I get distracted from what the question is sometimes because I get tickled at the comments.
Because his party is going to more than likely harm Republicans, and that's going to pull him into the, let's put some effort behind Elon type of thing. And then all of a sudden, Doge is second seat history. No, I remember.
This is curious.
His America Party.
Will I go, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely.
The first one, because I don't read with these oracle cards often, it's not like the regular tarot cards where we know them inside out. So this was a new card for me. And it says energy weapon, which is, to me, very interesting what he brings to the table with this hideous new party. So it's like new energy and a new thing. Oh, God. Particularly with these right-wing shock jocks who have moved away from Trump. I think it's talking about them. He's still going to advocate all these repressive ideas, military action. He's only a force for repression. Taken by force. So it's like, because he's, at the end of the day, he's a eugenicist, which is a fancy way of saying white supremacist and Nazi. And because he's really into that, he would be advocating still for people to be forcibly removed. And I think he'll throw a lot of money at it. Here's the currency floating out of the sky. Yeah, so I think it's the sort of question and issue we have to keep looking at and revisiting as it goes along until it dies.
Three of Wands, anticipation, there's some growth and some expansion. So it is growing. It's going to have its intended effect. He's playing with this. This is a toy for the person who has nothing else to do.
Yes.
He should be going try to rehabilitate his image. No, but let me poke the Republican Party bear and say we're going to start a new party because I hate the Dems and now I hate the Republicans. You only hate the Republicans because you couldn't get your EV credits.
Yeah.
If you'd have got them, you would have said nothing and none of this would have happened. This is a toy. So there's the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. He's going to have the intended effect of burdening the GOP, the traditional, and the MAGA. There is some deals that he is going to make. He is going to possibly push somebody forward to do most of the political speech and talking. But this is a toy. The Ace of Swords and the Devil and the Emperor. Once he is done with playing with it, he'll be done with playing with it. But it will have the intended effect of disruption.
I think people look at him as backstabbing. He's backstabbing the Republicans and Trump. He's also burdened by the truth because he worked for Trump. He worked for him, and then he's like betraying him, bringing all this stuff out about Trump and stuff and putting him in defense mode. I think people are going to start questioning, why is he so interested in the White House? Why does he want in there again? No matter who's running, there's more illumination on what he's done in the White House, and he's probably going to be brought in for some kind of questioning somewhere down the road about what happened to the money, So he's an oligarch. I don't think people trust him.
Dude,
I think people are starting to wake up to the oligarchs do not have our best interests at heart.
Duh.
Okay, we're going to go a little bit conspiracy theorist for a minute. Because with these guys, it's like no longer conspiracy, right? It's like, that's who they are. Michael Wolff, the author, has all these videotapes and recordings of Epstein that he did because he was going to write a book on Epstein at one time. And he's got all these videos and recordings. And he says that Epstein said that in the early 1990s, when Trump was cheating on Ivana with Marla, and Marla got pregnant, and Trump wanted to marry Marla, and he's trying to figure out how to get rid of Ivana because a divorce wasn't going to be easy, right? He fantasized about unaliving Ivana, and his favorite fantasy was by pushing her down the stairs. And he talked about this with Epstein in the early 90s when he first met Epstein. Like, he was seeking advice from Epstein on how to handle it. So, he married Marla in 93, I believe. So I just want to look at Ivana's death again. Was Trump involved? He was president at the time that she passed away. I don't think he went to the house and pushed her himself, but did he give the go ahead?
Did he do it? I'm interested.
Did he have it set up? Because it's interesting, she falls down all those steps, and it was torso trauma, not a head injury. It's like, what?
Well, also it happened on the maid's day off. The maid's
torso trauma, like where somebody pushed her, Yeah.
And also, apparently, she never used the chair. She had her little automatic lift.
Yeah. An elevator.
Let's have a look.
Because now there's videotape where somebody's saying, yeah, he's been thinking about that for 30 years now, pushing her down the stairs. And also, don't forget, within 2 weeks of when she died, her prenup was going to be ending.
That's right.
So she would have been able to speak out and say anything she wanted. She was very good friends with Ghislaine when Trump's running around with Epstein. So she probably could have spilled a lot of tea on that relationship.
All right. Well, this was a very emotional issue. Not that Trump does emotion, but in the sense of he felt a bit overwhelmed and at risk here. In other words, it was something he couldn't control, as he was from the inside out, if that makes any sense. It sort of substitutes for emotions. Things like fear of losing my money is as close as you get to an emotion with Trump. Okay. So it was all of that. Look, in the dark of the moon, making a deal. Look, these cards are just, laying it out. Dark of the moon, making a deal for someone who, you will be astonished. You will be astonished at this revelation. Was paid by Trump. In other words, he hired someone to do it. He's a million miles from it, and it worked. Oh, you got the mercenary too. And it worked with this victory card. Not pretty.
Plop her in the graveyard at Bedminster Golf Course.
That was weirder than weird.
Yeah.
Who buries their wife who never played golf on their golf course?
Somebody who wanted a tax write-off for having a cemetery on the golf course.
Yeah. I mean, how calculating was
that? Emergency and teamwork rune pops up in all kids and radio. And then there is the money affluence as well. And then there is the combat or conflict there as well. And some sort of inside man as well. Now, bear in mind, I could just be reading these this way because I want to, but I think so. Because mind you, 98 years ago when I did the reading on Donald Trump, and it was a tableau reading, and in his reading, it shows Ivana falling. I thought it was talking about him because that's who I was reading on. I wasn't reading on her. I said, so be careful because I see you falling here. And then a week later, oops, somebody fell down the stairs and now she's married at the golf course. Yeah. He had something to do with it because it popped up in his reading.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget Eric was the first on the scene. I've always had a weird vibe that he got Eric to do it. Yeah, it's somebody, an emissary for the king, took an action against the woman. She had unfinished work with talking about his lovers and love life and all that kind of stuff. Trump was very anxious and not accepting that. I get he got somebody in the family to throw her off balance, give her a little quick shove, and everything's done. So, yeah, he's ultimately the planner. But I think it was one of the boys he got to do it, either Junior or Eric. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to know because Michael Wolff keeps leaking these little tidbits from the tapes. Will any real investigation ever be done on this?
On which?
On Ivana's death? Will there ever be a real investigation into this?
Before we do, she was cremated.
She was cremated in that heavy casket, that is full of all those documents and stuff. That heavy casket they took and plopped her on the golf course. So digging her up won't help. She's cremated.
Yes, so
but there was an autopsy done, so they could just like Epstein, and his brother keeps talking about the autopsy. The breaks in his neck are not like what you get when you hang. It's more like somebody did something from behind.
And mind you, autopsy could be somebody walked in the room, yep, dead, and then walked back out again.
And you can imagine at that level, they have their Dr. Feelgoods and they have their own coroners virtually, in the sense of, I don't care if it was a public appointment. I bet that was suspicious. Look at the autopsy here. Oh,
Trump always said he could murder somebody on Fifth Avenue. Did Ivana live on Fifth Avenue?
Yep.
For entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
Yes. We're entertainers, YouTube. Because here we go. For Trump, he did what he set out to do, which is secure the money for himself in perpetuity. But, and I'm a bit surprised, I sort of thought, oh, they won't get round to it because so much else has happened in the world. However, this is him, or perhaps the family estate, being defensive here. And then the death card and the Wheel of Fortune. So I think it might come round. I mean, maybe, look, Ivana was not an easy woman, but maybe Ivanka wasn't happy with what happened or something, or she got cut out of the money or something. I think Ivanka could initiate this, 5 years from now or something. Wheel of Fortune. Wow.
I think maybe not an investigation, but I think I agree with Lena. I think at some point, though, we're going to come back around to this. Because I'm thinking to myself, no, because, that's the way they create things. Why would I investigate this? So forth and so forth. But there's the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is an action of some sort. There's the Devil, and then there's the Mother with the Empress card. There's the Queen of Wands. I think in the Page of Wands, I think there may be a confession at some point, but this may be after Trump has been eaten by all the worms he could possibly be eaten by. So this is like, and like 10 years down the line or something. This ain't nowhere soon, I don't think. But it's like, I think there's a confession.
It doesn't rest on him. It's something
he tells on himself, though. He talks about, I rigged the election. He said that about 5 times since he got voted in. Thank you, Elon. We rigged it. So, yeah, there is hope. This is definitely going to come up again. Judgment card is something returning. Something somebody's bitter about is what I'm feeling. Very, very bitter about. This woman talking about her mobility, because she walked to a restaurant like a couple of days before and stuff. There's something sneaky going on. It's going to resurface in the future. Somebody is going to share something that's a betrayal of daddy. Maybe something about the planning of it. So maybe they find something on a cell phone or an email or something, or some kind of evidence. I'm getting one of the boys is going to be really, really anxious about this. So you're probably right. It would probably come from Ivanka.
This is a very interesting comment. Thank you, Shelby. As a retired funeral director, I've never heard of anyone putting cremated remains in a casket. Why? Because what happens is you go to the funeral with the body in the casket, and then it goes behind the velvet curtains, and they're cremated, and then you come and pick up the ashes in an urn. And that's so obvious. I hadn't sort of put it together. And we've all been aware of how heavy was the casket, but you don't normally do it like that. You don't bury the urn.
Or you have an urn that goes into a crypt later or something.
Yeah. You don't put it in a second coffin.
And you certainly don't have all your children come to the funeral and say bad things about you.
It says something about the woman, though, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mother of dragons, as you have coined her.
Well, we've got South Park having a field day with Trump this week. Getting their $1.5 billion contract from Paramount after Paramount, had the Colbert Show canceled, or CBS did. They get their $1.5 billion contract and then just raked little tiny Becker Trump, little tiny mushroom over the coals, in bed with the devil.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just laughing because they've got a 5-year contract. They're just going to pulverize this over and over and over again. And they said several things that were kind of alluding to what they did to Colbert too. I want to know the writers of South Park, the creators of South Park. How are they going to do through all this? Are they going to see any legal problems or anything?
Because they have Trump's ire now, because he heard about it. So
yeah, because Don Jr. watched it. Because they were always borderline, like they would make comments like "kill woke" and stuff like that. So they were kind of anti-woke, but at the same time they were kind of making fun of people that were anti-woke.
Well, that's what South Park does.
Yeah, they ride the line, back and forth and make fun of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how will they go over the next few years?
Trump will probably tell Paramount, like, you got to kill that show. But they got 1.5 billion. Or Trump has.
Interesting. I think they're pressured to back off a little bit here. There's the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So they're getting some sort of information about you should maybe stop this, or maybe back off, or don't talk about Trump, don't talk about Ghislaine, that whole type of thing. But there's the Ace of Swords and the Magician. This is what they do. These are the same show creators who got the threats from North Korea, who got the threats from ISIS, because they made fun of Islam and they made fun of Kim Jong-un. And this is what they do. They do that type of thing. But there's the Nine of Wands, so they're going to try to apply pressure because of the King of Swords. But I don't think that's going to work. This is part of their show model. This is not Nickelodeon. This is not Big Bird. So to where you can maybe curb the message a little bit. This is South Park. It's this is what they do, and worse than that at times. So I don't think that's going to work, but they'll get the pressure to stop talking about Donald Trump.
Mm. Well, I love this image of the Three of Swords. They're saying, just eat it. This is what we do. Don't pretend we're anything but what we are. We're not warm and fuzzy. The big backers at the moment are happy. That's that 1.5 billion, right? Are prepared to do it. I agree with Johnny. I think they'll be asked, this is the Eight of Cups. Stop. That was too much or too far or, but they're going to stand their ground. And they've got a contract, obviously, with that much money that gives them some sort of protection and license to bounce within. So I think attempts will be made to shut them up, but I think they'll fight on.
I think they had a very good lawyer. They got the money. It's like, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. They got the money. They're surprised at all the support for what they did. That everybody's coming up. They're really surprised at how much people are talking about it, how much support for what they did. I think someone will talk to them and try to burden them, but it's not going to go well because nobody is accepting Trump anymore. He's a pedophile. So they've unfinished work. They're going to talk more about his love life. They're going to talk about Melania and his lifestyle with her, because she met Trump because of Epstein. She was working for Epstein, so she was trafficked. Melania was trafficked. Let's face it. They're going to continue down this road in the future. So I don't see them letting up. So what will Paramount's reaction be to Trump when he tries to get them to cancel the show or do something about it? Because he will.
Good question. Because they know they're poking the bear. They can't just pretend, it's not going to have a reaction. So they must.
You've already announced you're canceling Colbert. Are you going to take a risk of canceling another show?
Now, Colbert is very popular, #1 in nighttime and all that type of stuff, but South Park has a cult following. That would be disastrous. That's a bad business move, first of all.
Well, South Park is global.
Yes.
Big time global. So although people watch Colbert in the UK or Australia, we're talking a handful of people, compared with South Park is truly international.
Because $1 billion contract you don't give that away to your number 8 show.
Yeah.
0.5 billion.
Sorry, what was that question?
What will Paramount's response to Trump be? Because Trump's going to pressure them to do something.
Right.
Quit showing my teeny weeny little mushroom. It was hysterical. That was the best show.
Oh.
They're stressed. 9 of Swords. Because of the deal that they have made with who. Even looks like Colbert sitting on the moon there.
Because the merger hasn't gone through yet with the Paramount and Skydance, is it?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's the dancing death there. So there is going to be some sort of change, but I think it's the change in the relationship with them and Donald Trump. Because they need him in his administration, and he knows it now. It's different when they were just dealing with the FCC, but now Donald Trump knows it. And so he is aware that he's got them over the barrel. And mind you, Donald Trump came out and said it's actually not 16 million, it's double that. He was lying, but he said that. And so the relationship between those two is going to change some way, somehow. Maybe once they get their merger, they'll say, I don't really care about you anymore, but we'll see. He's a spiteful person.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they canceled Colbert for financial reasons, and yet they turn around and pay South Park $1.5 billion.
And
Yeah.
paid a $16 million bribe to Donald Trump.
But also, he's cancelled May next year, which is a million miles away. So it's not like a hard edge cancellation, you know. It wouldn't be the worst thing for Colbert. You know how it is. You do a show for decades like that, and he has the name recognition. He could go in any direction. So I don't think it's the worst of the worst. But I don't understand my cards. I'm a bit surprised. The first card is imprisoned or detained. What I suspect is this is Trump throwing ketchup at the walls, going, I want them all arrested. I want them, right, you know, like that. You know, off with their heads type stuff. But there's an uprising or rebellion I think this is operating on several levels. The public have spoken, right? They've only made one episode and it's rippled throughout the world. So now they're in a cleft stick in a way. It's quite tricky for Paramount here because they stand to make billions. They've spent billions. Everything's high stakes, okay? Spreading and mutating in the sense of it's too big already with one episode, I think, to put the genie back in the bottle. It would be too obvious. And Paramount will mount that argument. Oh, Mr. President, we might want to do it, but we can't. It's already out, or something like that. But it could get downgraded, Paramount itself, through the machinations of Trump. He will do everything he can to pull them down. So they'll pay a price for it, but I think it's a price they're willing to pay.
But this also, too, this is where Donald Trump has no foresight. You do not get into back and forth with the comedians because that does nothing but give them something else to write about.
Oh, yes.
Because they banded together. Look how many showed up on Colbert's show the next night. You know, they band together and strengthen each other.
Yes.
South Park is going to tear you apart. SNL, anybody you give fuel to because you want to go on a Twitter tirade, this is going to give them something else to write about. But go right ahead. You do you, boo.
Yeah, I get it's bad news to Trump. It's like the response has been an abundance of people that diligently watch what they create here. Victory on that. Like even a surprising level of how many people watch it. So they'll block him through the courts if they have to, you know, if Trump tries to take any kind of action like through the FCC or anything like that. But I think it's beyond that. I think Trump's successor better be taking note because they're offering some loving advice to the next person going into the White House, like, be careful, because if you do what Trump's been doing, they're going to come down on you in strength. So it's almost like Trump's not even going to be there and they'll be dealing with Vance.
Oh, and they're going to have a field day with Vance.
Yeah. Him and his little couch and pseudo friend Peter Thiel.
So you've got Trump married to not one but two immigrants and Vance with biracial children, and they still spurt this stuff.
Garbage. Garbage.
Insane. And no one ever points out the screaming obvious to them. I've never seen either of them challenged about that.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, Melania was working for Epstein when she met Trump. The first time, according to Michael Wolff, the first time Trump and Melania had sex was on Epstein's plane.
Yeah.
Like he's offering her up. She was trafficked by Epstein.
Yeah, I think we've got to be careful with the word traffic, and it's not in the sense. I don't have any judgment if young Slovenia and Melania thought, I'm going to make a lot of money in the US. I'm going to go and be a high-level escort. I've got the looks. I can pull it off. That could have been a personal choice.
I'm working for a modeling company.
Yeah. You know, and we forget that in all this, the victims who should be remembered in front of house. But at the same time, I don't know without further information. I wouldn't automatically put Melania in that category. I think she came expressly to do that work, And no judgment on her if that's a working woman as far as I'm concerned. That's not the worst
Trying to get ahead. So, Ghislaine met with the DOJ and went back to prison with a box of files. There's no files for us to see, but Ghislaine gets to take a whole box of them back to prison with her. Yeah. Is Trump going to pardon her?
Let's dive in. The thing, too, that I would point out, she's not in a cell. She's in a dormitory with windows. Okay, I'm just saying. Yes, it's a secure facility, but this idea that she's, got her one grey blankets curled up on the concrete is not right.
Not an alligator Alcatraz.
Well, I've been an advocate for prison conditions for decades, and so I would prefer we did better than we do with all sorts of jails, but that's not where she actually is. So let's be clear about that. And I'm sure the food's awful. Poor Ghislaine, Will he pardon her?
So in other words, is he working a deal with her?
I could say sure, because the Four of Swords for me is house arrest. And so wherever she is, she's not in prison. She could be confined somewhere still, because there she is, Queen of Wands. But she's out some way, somehow. I don't know if it's a pardon, because I don't see Trump in here, but something is secure and something is manipulated with the Magician and the Nine of Pentacles.
Yeah.
She is elsewhere. It's either that or
Exactly. Yeah, and I get something too, this is the end result being given this. We've got the moving away. Hello. The Hierophant, the court, the DOJ, the corrupt and filthy DOJ, and a sweetheart deal. So I'm going to say it might not technically be a pardon, but it could be commuting the sentence or serving it out in a mansion of your choice, or,
Yeah. That's what he did for some of the January 6ers.
Yeah, with this moving away and deal. Erky perk. What did you think?
There's just chaos around this. There's negotiating, there's chaos, there's a game going on with all of this. He would take a supportive action of her, a manipulated Trumpian full supportive action, giving her a little grace. So whether that's giving her a lighter sentence or giving her a pardon, that's going to blow up in his face if he does it. But I don't think he's thinking about that. I think he's thinking about paying her off, getting her to lie about the lifestyle that they were all living and everything, and protecting Trump at all costs. So I think he's like making a deal, like you're either going to stay in prison or we'll get you out if you cooperate. I'm getting they're tampering with the evidence too.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're tampering. They're definitely tampering with evidence.
He's going to have, let's say, selective recall. And so it's almost another question. Will she give up Dems who went to the island in exchange? Because that's a big favour for him.
Yeah,
That
those
takes
files.
all the steam out of this whole issue and flushes it away. That's my biggest fear.
I'm flashing on what she's doing with those files is what Trump did with the Sharpie when we had a hurricane and he drew it up into Alabama. She is writing in people he wants her to write in. It's they're sabotaging evidence. Now, we still have a lot of the young women who testified and were in the evidence files. Thank God they're still with us. They keep coming out and letting us know when something's a lie. But let's see, how are we asking this?
Will she give up Dems for her freedom?
Yes. Thank you, Judy.
Will she give up the Dems? Will she give up the Dems?
My problem is well, not my problem, his problem. You working with her, even if you came out and said it was Clinton, Obama, and Jesus in the Epstein files, his base still understands that he's in there too. And you are working with the convicted pedophile. So that's a narrative that's just not going to, especially if you pardon her, then what does that look like? Like, that's the foresight is what I'm saying. Anyway,
thank you, Rose.
Will they give up Dems? There's something going on. Probably, sure. I mean, there's probably a little bit of everybody in there, but this here read says something else is going on to where that is swept under the rug, or it's not the headline. Because keep in mind, you can expose whoever you want to, but you need the press to put it in the headline instead of, some page 6, you need it on the front page. Because there's something else here. The 6 of Wands and the 10 of Wands, there are celebrated people who are burdened by this thing. So, yes. But with the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, the business deals is what gets all the pressure, that gets all the look in. This is the thing that is going to continue for a very long time. Your relationship with those that you are trying to covet and trying to get information from. And so you're trying to harvest something that shouldn't be harvested. You either let her go or you let her rot in prison, but you don't make a deal. And so I think something else is going to take up the oxygen in the room when it comes to exposing some Democrats there.
One of the girls I remember watching her on, I think she was on CNN this week. She was talking about Farmer, I think her name was. She was talking about how Ghislaine was one of the most manipulative, evil people like she had ever encountered. She, invoking on their sympathies, and I'm here for you, and all pulling them in just to set them up on this trajectory of sex with all these men. She said it was like the most seductively evil thing that she's ever seen. It was almost like she was saying Ghislaine was worse than Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, she comes from the worst of the worst. So her father, who was the original Murdoch, he owned all this media and anti-working class media, that works cleverly over generations. But where did he steal money from? Many sources, but the big one was a pension fund. He actually stole an entire pension fund of people. Like, they have all the money in the world, and then they go and do this, all the power in the world.
But he had big ties with Israel, with Mossad and stuff. He's actually buried in Israel. Thank you, Patty.
Yeah. And she was his favorite. But sometimes, you really wouldn't want that role out of 9 kids. And he was notoriously awful to his kids. It was a different era. We're talking the 50s and 60s and stuff. But even by those standards, he was cruel and belittling and horrifyingly awful. And there's stories of her, weeping, holding onto his calf and stuff. And oh God, you don't want to go there. However, the point being, she turned that into being a manipulative queen in her own right. Awful. Awful family, awful story.
So what are you getting on if she would give up some Dems? Are you getting a yes?
Sadly, yes. All rich men who went to the island are vulnerable at this point. Well, it's already brought down Prince Andrew, nothing else. Okay.
I'm getting it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lena.
No, that's okay. The burden. A lot of these guys would not be happy and not be sleeping well. Let's just say that. She is a burden to them. I think there's conversations and decisions being made, just saying, about how far this could go. So we'll see.
Yeah, I get the plan's already off the ground to share information like dribs and drabs, crumbs. They have worked out. They've worked together on what will be shared. And I think there's an ultimate threat over her, like time's up, we'll Mr. Epps you, if you don't cooperate. I do get like, yes, she will, but it's a lie because she's been bullied by Trump. So yeah, she will offer people up, people, wealthy people and stuff, but it's manipulated. I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like the girls will continue to say, no, that's not true.
Yes. But what's yours? Because we don't do timing as such. I don't know that it'll be like next week or the week after. I think there'll be a bit of a window, but probably not long, or she wouldn't be cooperating to this extent.
So quickly. I'm not sure what her, thank you, Mike. I'm not sure what her timing is on going back to court, appealing her case, because, now she's saying, her lawyers are saying, well, if Trump's saying what's in the Epstein files isn't believable, then why is she in prison? So.
Well, that's her legal argument, because that's something else that could be granted is a retrial.
And she's already in the appeals. She's got an appeal out there. Let me see if I can see.
And Republicans need to get this over with before the midterms. Otherwise, Democrats have something to run on other than just Donald Trump's failed economic policies. Now they can paint him out. You are the supporter of the pedophile party. They'll say it in a different way, I'm sure, but you could drive their home.
Be careful with that, because once you name the names,
it's saying her appeal is at the U.S. Supreme Court. The DOJ is opposing her request to have her case reviewed. The Supreme Court has not indicated whether they will hear the case or not. If they do, a decision is not expected until, according to this, late June or early July 2026.
Yeah, I think it's a bit down the road. And also, JC says August 11, like 2 weeks, is her testifying to Congress date.
That they also wanted to stop. But maybe she's now their best friend since the deal was made. They might not have to worry so much.
So let's ask, will she testify to Congress?
Yeah.
Will she honor that subpoena?
But we know she's not shy about perjury. She opens her mouth and perjures herself. So,
This is not an ethical woman. I love what Ron Wyden's doing, going through all the money trails and the
Yes.
4,000 bank, just on one bank account, wire transfers of billions of dollars into Epstein. It's crazy.
Yeah, and as I understand it, he made that money blackmailing, not, in other words, men didn't pay for these services, right? Let's be clear
Yeah.
about that. So there's not going to be a direct monetary thing about that. It was what happened with the images later. That's where they shelled out the big bickies. Yeah. Will she testify?
Sure, but again, I wouldn't believe you if your tongue was notarized. This is normally teamwork, but it's reversed, and so this is a lack of cooperation. And then there's a burden there, or some sort of not being able to move from your point because of the way things are being handled. And so don't expect some big Bible of truth type of thing. Now, mind you, because I guarantee you somebody is going to ask directly, what is your relationship with Donald Trump? Just like they asked to Jeffrey Epstein. And then he's like, I'll plead the 5th and the 9th and the 8th and the 17th.
It's like you just pleading the entire Constitution.
Yeah.
Well, I think she will, but I think she'll give a simplistic, childish version of what went on. You know,
Poor me, I'm the victim here.
Poor me. She was watching everyone come and go from the island. A new interpretation for this 3 of 1. Oh, you want me to lie? Not a problem. Big lie, little lie. What would you like? Lots of lies? I'm your gal. Okay. Oh, I'm going to undercut you here. Now, with this card is getting away with what you can get away with here. So she will get away with as much as she possibly can. But a card I'm not happy with turning up here is the victory card, in the sense that I think this means Congress will, I think the Republicans will feel this is a bit of a victory, not a defeat, because they can say, look, we interviewed her in Congress. You know, we don't have to explain anything anymore. No, we can't let you know what was said, but we did the right thing. They're going to claim it as a victory. What did you get, Jim?
I think she's setting up an image for the Supreme Court. It's kind of what I'm getting, because she's emissary for the king. It's an image she's trying to set up for the justice system and the courts, because it's going to a higher court. It's all manipulated. It's all like, oh, whatever you want, I'll share with you. It's fake. There's subterfuge going on. She clings to the information that they most want to hear. She's not letting it out. She's going to be very, very guarded in what she says. It's orchestrated. But it's going to come up again with her, the thievery and the lies and everything else. There's something she's going to let loose she's going to regret. It's an accident. It's like a slip of the tongue. So there's something she's going to say that she's going to regret, that changes everything about, if she's trying to get people to look at her as if she's a victim of Epstein too, or she's a victim of these men or whatever, it's going to change everything, and it's not going to work.
This is August 11th?
In Congress, but next year, next June, July, supposedly at the Supreme Court.
Because there is retrograde still a thing in August 11th. Is it over on the 14th or something?
Oh, no, it's over, I think, on the 10th or something. Oh, bugger.
Truth moving forward.
Yeah. It's hard to know. Because how many judges would have been over there too? I'm talking judges of different levels of circuits and all this.
So
how many rabbis? How
I
many
want to,
rabbis? How many priests? You know, like
Yeah.
I want to know what Trump's fallout from his MAGA people for how he's handling Ghislaine.
okay, yeah.
Because he shouldn't be handling her at all. That should be Department of Justice and legal and everything. But what's his fallout going to be? Like if he pardons her, or if he, the fact that they met with her and gave her files that we don't get to see, but Ghislaine does. Come on, there's got to be fallout. Like she just walked back into prison with a huge old box of files.
I mean, when your horn wearing, half painted Braveheart wannabe shaman says, you're a piece of crap.
Turned on him.
Yeah, that's right.
Turned on him. Turned on him.
Oh,
One-eyed Stewie Rhodes turned on him.
Yeah.
I'll shoot my eye out. Stewie Rhodes turned on him.
What's the fallout? First card is the moon, not a good sign. There's plots and secrets and schemes and underbellies. The crayfish represents the low vibrational self, for that's the theme of evolution, and they're not there yet, mind you.
That card is really jumping out at me because it really shows the eclipse well. We have a lunar eclipse early September, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like September 7th.
In the moon card, too, in the Rider-Waite is sort of the face of the hermit a little bit, to where you're looking down, looking within as well. Because the solution to the moon, because it's an illusion card, is intuition. That's the solution to the illusion. And so when you look within, MAGA, then you will find out you've been conned the whole time. And so you have to reconcile with yourself, because sometimes it's hard to admit that you played the fool, because it damages the pride. Because there is the tradition and the conformity and the repression and that type of thing. There is some Five of Cups, sadness and loss. The Five of Cups, though, does remind you that what you have lost was necessary, because sometimes you need to change that perspective to understand what you still have left. And I pulled the rune too. Now, algaes is usually protection, but it's reversed. And so there is a shattering of the shield, a shattering of the rose color, because again, there's some depression over what has been lost. So slowly but surely, some of them are awakening. But doesn't mean they're great people and you need to invite them over for tea and crumpets. But they're still, but as far as their illustrious leader, the veneer is wearing off there.
Yeah.
That's their leader, the loser.
Yeah.
What are you getting, Lena?
Well, it leads off with my GOP card, fake happiness, right? They are wounded by this, not just this flurry of things. They've now heard the tariffs aren't fabulous. They don't know what they are, but they think they're not good. So it's a few things going into this mix. To follow him is becoming a burden. It's harder and harder to just say he's right and the rest of the world is wrong. It's getting difficult to say that. Then I got this Ace of Wands and I thought, so I pulled some more cards to clarify. So for what's happening for MAGA, because they were deeply wedded and embedded and invested with this man. This isn't just, I like this politician stuff. This is full identity stuff. They're starting to realize the fool's gold. They were sold a lemon. And this is bringing real anxiety because it's been their identity for 10 years. This is almost intergenerational now. Parents who have indoctrinated children, communities, whole communities that have risen up to support this villainous, cretinous guy. So it's very difficult for them.
And you watch their videos and they're all burning their wardrobes. They've got an investment in this.
I know, the burning of the Trump hats. I mean, it might be an urban myth, but I love the image.
I like what you said too, though, about the Ten of Wands. It's getting harder to follow him. He can afford his eggs. He can afford
Yeah.
his health care. He can afford his car. He can afford his everything. And you following behind him and you realize more and more each day, I can't.
Yeah, this is getting harder and harder
Mhm.
to keep up.
It's like they're seeing the oligarchs more now too.
Yeah.
They fought for him.
Yes,
They committed an
yes,
insurrection for this man.
yes.
They fought for him, and now they're all talking about they're getting the crumbs from this loser who doesn't care about them. So yeah, a lot of them separating. Um, it's all the strength of his image that they were in support of. Um, I'm getting there's someone else they're going to start getting behind, whether it's a Democrat or whatever, but it is making them very anxious as they mull this over. And watch for something around that eclipse time. It's jumping out on my cards too. The moon, something around the eclipse time gives them a different perspective about what's going on. It is slow moving, but I am getting something like right around that eclipse season.
Because they are really stressed and anxious now in a way they weren't before, because anger hides a lot of other emotions. So while they were just angry and going after their guy, it kept them afloat emotionally in these places for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Because that's when they are starting to realize that the boogeyman is the man who's telling you who the boogeyman is. It's not the Mexican. It's not the this and the that. Oh, it's that guy. Yeah, it's him. Been him all this time. We tried to tell you, but I understand we're the libs and blah blah blah. Okay, fine, but you followed him right off the cliff and never really realized he never jumped. It was just you.
Yeah. Exactly, John. Exactly. And the other thing, the other Yeti in the room, we might say, is he's looking old and frail and decrepit now. And he used to be able to pull it together at least for 2 hours here and
That
2 hours
shouldn't be funny, but it is.
I know. So it's harder and harder to worship a failing, flailing,
He looked like a big old fat slob out there playing golf in Scotland and bent over and tried to swing, and then they caught his caddy dropping a ball for him because he'd hit it into the sand trap. So he dropped the ball for him, somewhere easier to play.
Yeah. But why don't the Dems have mashups of him playing golf with the dates and times underneath it? Because that's where he lives, on the stupid golf course. Like.
Say, in the time of war and financial uncertainty, your president is off in Scotland playing golf.
And let those images speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Senator Wyden has been following the money in the Epstein case, and the billions of dollars just on one bank account and thousands of transactions that he has seen. We know Epstein had many bank accounts, so the size of the transactions, like 250 million, they're huge, they're big.
Wow. Okay.
Will someone eventually follow the money on Epstein's accounts and find out how he made his money doing a little laundering from all over the world?
Yes. This is a global story.
Yeah,
for sure.
How he made his money, because
and that
spent a lot of time by the pool.
Jeffrey Epstein only knew, his mates from this bar and that college and this and that. She was the one who opened the world to it.
When I first did a reading on him, way back when I first heard his name, didn't know who he was. I think the third card in that reading was her. She was more instrumental to him than anybody.
Yeah.
Will they find? Yes.
Because they've frozen all his accounts because the women are now suing to get some recompense since he's deceased.
Because I get the Ace of Pentacles is the first card and the Two of Swords. Identifying the people is a little more difficult, but there could be some people named too eventually, which could possibly lead to prosecution, blah, 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 and all that kind of thing. But identifying the people is what the hard part is. There's the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles too. There are a few trails that go like completely dead, but there is also a lot of information that they could get once he's actually out of the picture now. So, because mind you, I think what happened too is when he was alive and she is accounted for, Ghislaine, then you know where your information is. But when you start to seize things from him, then it's like, oh, my name is in there. Who knows it? Who's seen it? Who read it? Who this? Who that? And so there's a whole lot of uncertainty around that type of thing. And it ends in the Knight of Cups and the Empress. Yes, they will follow because it's a lot. It's a whole lot. It's like trying to read the Mueller report again. So it's
It's like that. Yeah. Will I go, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So like Johnny, I've got the Ten of Swords and a lot going on there. There's a lot that's trying to keep this information from coming out. Now, Trump as emperor here is notorious. He would take down 100 powerful men if it kept his ass out of jail for another 2 hours, right? So that's how he works. So he is considering that actually as a deliberate policy. I was thinking of it from the other angle, trying to find out what Epstein had done wrong. But it's like he almost wants this to happen. Here are the Pentacles coming to a compromise over the money. Where is it been and stuff. Whoops, how to hide it when your name comes up and your account is mentioned. I think whoever was in charge, you'd have to have a team who was very committed. Like we're talking Elliot Ness stuff, because my thing is whoever starts looking at the money will drop it and walk away because of the power of the people you are investigating.
It's a very big deal.
It's a very big deal. We're talking other oligarchs. We're talking Saudi princes. We're talking heads of countries.
A president, a prince.
We're talking generals. We're talking judges. Like
we're talking head of banking. Also, some of the big wigs in banking who are not going to be as forthcoming with the evidence in their own banks. So the structure of it, I get, because it's global. There's a lot of it. They've got to get court actions, to get a lot of this new stuff released. I do get there's going to be new movement on this. I get a big old yes with that. But it's like a little at a time. They hit constrictions and restrictions, and I think that's because of the heads of banking are like not as try to block them. Try to oh, look at this instead of that. It's like, no, you give me the proof of what this document is. They're not finished with this. So wheels of time, it's going to take a little bit of time and stuff. I do get there's other Republicans that'll be coming out in it. But whatever we get, I feel like it's going to be a little manipulated by the banks. I don't know how they'll do that, but I do get investigations into it.
Yeah.
So whether they were involved in his business or involved in covering it up. Yeah, because that was Senator Biden saying like
participants themselves too.
Right. I don't know that they're participants so much, but they're supposed to flag when it looks like money laundering going on. And all these transactions weren't flagged until they asked them to look at Epstein's accounts that got frozen. And then they start flagging. Oh, look. Oh, we should have caught this, back in 2001.
Because it's like Lena's point earlier. These people have their own everything. Their accounts didn't go through Rhonda, who stands at the beginning. It goes through a special person and another special person, and then that's it. And everybody knows who those two people are. You know when they're there, you know when they're not, so forth and so forth. This is not.
It's like the Panama Papers. Remember the Panama Papers, which was huge and then repressed as a story, because it was this sort of stuff. It was huge illegal things from the supposed clean skins in these different countries. So it's like that.
Meanwhile, let me make $55 instead of $56, and then you're going to come after me with all the force in the world.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, so to go down conspiracy road one more time,
why not?
Because weird shit happens around Trump, right? Roy Black, 80 years old, Epstein's former lawyer, passed away this week. Epstein's former lawyer, 80 years old, so he's up there. But did he have a little help in passing? I just want to know. Because the timing of it, with all this stuff coming up about Epstein over and over, I have to ask, did he die naturally or did he have help?
Yeah. Roy Black.
Roy Black.
Roy Black's passing.
All the people. Epstein's former lawyer.
Roy Black's passing.
Was he gotten out of the way?
What's his birthday? Roy Black. American attorney.
February 17th. He's a Pisces.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
Well, Pisces are normally gentle and soft, so I think he had other things going on in his chart.
There's a person who popped up, and I'm thinking it could be him, but it was not him because that's not a water sign. There's an air sign man, and the death card is the first two cards I pulled.
And we know who that air sign man is.
And then right below the death card is the water sign man. And so,
look,
did he have help? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I'll pull a rune. Let's see. My cop out answer. Caution around money, or caution around information or money. That's what that means. So I'm going to go with air sign man and water sign man in the death card. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I got money cards, not surprisingly, because you can't do anything with these people without money cards. So inherited wealth. I'm sure he was massively wealthy if he was Epstein's guy.
Lawyer, he's paid well, probably.
But it's like wanting his return on investment here. People had paid him, is my vibe, a lot of money over the years, and he was paid for his discretion as much as his legal genius. And suddenly, I think there was a panic from several sources simultaneously. Oh, wait.
My panic card.
Yeah, look at that. We got the same card again. Right? Best do something about Roy Black, right? Like,
quick. They're going to go talk to Ghislaine to quick do something about Roy Black.
And I wasn't invested in the question hugely, because I thought at 80 it's a bit dodgy, and
I wasn't either, other than the timing of it just really like, okay, all the stuff about Epstein, and then meeting with Ghislaine, all the crap that came up with Ghislaine this week. I was like, I got to go here because I can't help it. It's like a quick action. Somebody
It was
Do
very
something
fast.
forcefully fast. Move into action. I don't know if you can see these. I got a little glare tonight. Air sign man involved. The leader of the pack. A contract agreement. Let's just bully him on over to the other side. You don't bully somebody over to the other side. Let's bully him on to the other side.
Yeah.
There's somebody looked into it. Yeah, there's something funky going on. I get his that's connected to the loser, so
No.
Trump shows up for me as the loser now. I can't help it.
I love that development in your tarot career. Yeah, it's a loser now.
It's all thanks to Fox News. It's all thanks to Fox News. Ever since they had the tarot reader on and the loser card came up for Trump, I was like, yeah.
Drew one card for him, and boom, there it was.
Now he just keeps showing up that way for me. So, how is Bill Clinton feeling now? Is he worried about possibly being linked in the Epstein files? I know he's flown on the plane. He had a lot of charity works because he flew to Africa with Epstein once. I'm not assuming anybody on those flight logs is guilty until one of the women says, yes, he was involved.
No, in fairness, and I'm normally not that reasonable, but in fairness, all those photos that we see of everyone with Epstein in New York, you can't judge people just from meeting them. And that's A-list circles. There's got to be something else.
He was involved in the sciences. He was involved in charity. He was involved in pharmaceuticals. He was involved, he was with any and everybody. Prince Harry is on the Epstein list. He was involved with everybody.
Yeah, he donated to a lot of charities.
I would believe Bill Clinton, though, is more than just a photo op, more so a client.
Yeah, look, he was always a skirt man, as we know. It's not mysterious.
Is he worried about
it? Bill, are you worried?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he's very worried, and he should be. Oh, is that what you got too, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
8 of Swords, Knight of Swords, trapped mentally. There's chaos around, and 6 of Cups, and I'll let you draw your own conclusion there. Yes.
To me, he's quite fatalistic about it in this thing. It's like he's waiting for the hammer to drop. So the story's out there. He knows he's, on the flight logs at least. He's waiting for it to happen. He knows it can't be kept secret much longer, and he's not sleeping well. Because I don't think it's the actual what he did when he did it with him. I think he sorted that out with Hillary. This isn't just sort of a man worried about his marriage. I think he knows what I keep harping on about. This revelation is going to be very bad for the Dems, So he's worried personally and politically.
And legacy. He's worried about his legacy.
Well, you would be.
Yeah. I definitely get worried, trapped up all night, very burdened by this, and seeking counsel with Hillary. He's afraid this is going to all blow up big, and wondering what's reported from the women, how much of it is work versus how much of it is something else. So I think he is quite upset about it, but I think he's also looking at all the charity stuff, and I'm not sure that he was involved with the women in that way. he might have noticed there seemed to be a lot of younger women around, but I don't, like, Virginia Guthrie, she talked about Prince Andrew and produced a photo of her with Prince Andrew. We've seen Clinton with Epstein, but I haven't seen any of the girls produce a photo with Clinton. So I don't know.
And he's very recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're right. I suspect he did have a fling or two. My vibe is not young. Might be technically underage, but
maybe the models, more the 21-year-olds. Trump keeps trying to fire Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell, like, he's awesome. He's like, no, that's not true. Trump hands him a piece of paper out of his pocket, and he's like, no, these numbers aren't right. Head of our Treasury, Jerome Powell. Is Trump going to be able to fire him? He is trying his damnedest.
He is doing his damnedest. Oh, Jennifer Flowers and Paula Jones. Yeah, forgot that. No, it's true. He's always been a player, Clinton. But as far as I'm aware, in the comments you can feed in, they've always been consensual encounters. That's really important too.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's trying a lot of, well, mind you, chaos is his middle name. That's what he's meant to sow with the Knight of Swords. But there's a lot of people around Jerome who seem to also want to be a shield, if you will, between him and the Fool. And so,
because Trump put him in there in his first term. He was nominated and went through all the hearings and everything in Trump's first term.
Because this is the rune of protection, but not like protection in like a spiritual way. This is protection in a physical way. The Urus is the bull, is the one who would charge in like the Knight of Swords type of thing. And so there's some sort of there's some people between him and the Fool that want to keep him there. So if he can get through them, then sure, but I don't think so.
Right. What I've got is, I don't think this is Jerome Powell per se being worried. I think this is people who understand how bad it would be if the Yeti was allowed to go ahead and sack him. Because even talk of it, that's the one thing that tipped the markets into free fall. Because you're then saying, if you let this happen, I'm talking about all the ones around Powell, then that is surrendering the US economy. It then just becomes a kleptocracy. It is no longer a first world nation. It's massive. It is massive getting rid of the Fed chair. So they're not happy. Arguments about it, because every time they go to work, they've got some clown from the Oval Office going, he doesn't like him. He wants you to get rid of him. Look, right?
Well,
I think this is Trump having his hands tied at the end because of the grown-ups, right? I don't think this is Joe. I think it's him. But there's endless, ongoing confusion because he doesn't give things up like that. He spins his wheels. Oh, it's Wednesday. Are we going to sack Jerome Powell today? Just when you think it's all sorted out, like nightmare. But I don't think he'll do it.
I don't think so either. I think like the centralized banking and everything is like, whoa. You're gonna like cause massive layoffs and destroy everything we've been working on to try to stabilize the economy. Global instability, so there's also probably world leaders also and leaders of other banks, in the world talking about it. So if he tried it, he better not get near a window because he might get shoved out a window if he tried to fire Jerome Powell. There's too much support for him. He's been there a while, and it's just the image of it would look horrible because of what it would do to the economy.
Yeah. So let's hope he's protected by a sort of membrane of people who really can't let this happen. Yeah.
Is Dan Bongino leaking information to the Wall Street Journal?
Good question, because I saw him going. I'm surprised he's still there.
Yeah, he came back. Like he was on his way out. He told everybody, I'm out of here over the Epstein stuff.
It's weird.
Is he leaking info?
He's leaking.
To anybody, not just the Wall Street. Is he leaking info on Epstein?
Is he leaking? So
he's FBI deputy or something like that.
Yeah,
second under Cash Patel.
The esteemed Cash Patel.
First of all, why does anybody in these roles have podcast? Anyway.
That's where they all come from. That's who Trump watches and hires. He doesn't hire people with expertise.
Not career professionals, podcasters. Our country is being run by media personalities.
Yes. FBI, not anybody that knows anything about how to get information, espionage, anything like that. No, I'm just going to get podcasters that are crazy.
Yeah. And Sunday TV anchors.
Yeah.
I got 3 majors out of 4 cards. 3 majors. So that'd be a screaming yes, and watch out for the floodgates, I would think, right? He, whatever reason kept him there, right? Because he was on his way out. My vibe is he did a deal and now he owns them in some way. Bongino can do this. He's a bit of a star in the sense of, I hadn't heard his name till a few weeks ago, but he's got a big role. You know, deputy FBI is global, right? Big role. He's got a foot in both camps. You know, yes, Mr. President, you're wonderful, and you lying dog, I'm going to get you, okay? He's really straddling the two. He really hates Trump, I get from this. And he'll leak away happily until he's stopped.
Or Trump's gone. Yeah. Whichever comes first.
He might keep going. He's not a happy camper.
What you getting, Johnny?
Yes, but it feels like bait because he wants to be popular.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is the downfall. Again, I can't. Why is he not an example of popularity and chasing fame and fortune is not the way to go? He never leaps off the cliff. It's just you. Like, I can't with these people, but there's the Page of Cups and the Star and the Six of Wands. He wants to be popular. He wants to be the center of attention. Look at me. Guess what I got? I was reading this file. Guess what I know? But it's like he's doing this to certain people because he wants to be the leader of some pack or some lodge or some boys club or that type of stupid thing.
It's like the person that has the inside information on the gossip in the office.
That's who he wants to be.
He wants to be the one in the know.
And that's the way he subdues the people around him, is by being the person who has the gold, who has the goods, because he wants to be popular, famous, and all that type of stuff. That will be your downfall when you start to chase the star and then you realize that you're looking up in the sky and not at the ground. That's how you fall off the cliff every single time.
Yeah. Look at that. Straight up.
Yeah, he's talking big time. Completion. Like, he was done. He was done over the Epstein files. Epstein shows up for me as King of Cups. He was done over this. He was ready to get out of there. That was his plan. And then, surprising, I get a woman brought him back in.
And Bondi, maybe?
I don't. think it's Pam Bondi because she protected Epstein down in Florida. I think there's another woman somewhere that said, you know what, get in there and leak it out all day long, make everybody anxious, celebrations, bringing up the parties and the lifestyle. He knows it all about Trump. And, unless Trump goes or falls off the tower, he's going to keep doing it.
Wow. No, it's amazing how the cards can still surprise after all these years. I thought, maybe he's leaking just to have a little backstab. No, Niagara Falls.
Senator Kennedy from Louisiana had a Mitch McConnell moment. Did y'all see that?
Now,
doing a press conference, he froze up.
Okay, yeah.
He had a Mitch McConnell moment. So I wanted to look at Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. He's the one that talks like foghorn leghorn.
Yeah, totally, like cartoon Southern accent. That's him.
Kind of a put on. Yeah, I would see how his health's doing. Because he looked like he stroked out for a minute.
Okay. In the comments, that makes total sense. Bongino had a huge following as a podcaster, like Steve Bannon or Joe Rogan. He was major popular, and he wants that position. He hates the 9-to-5 thing.
He wants to use what he knows as little baits for everybody to come watch my podcasts.
So what do we want to know about the senator?
Senator Kennedy, how's his health? He had a little glitch, a Mitch glitch. And he's up there too. He's probably 80 years old now.
Yeah. See, our High Court, the equivalent of the Supreme Court, they have to retire at 70.
I mean,
now they go on to be great legal minds and mentors to the next gen and all of that. But no, we draw the line at 70, and I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, he's only 73. God, he looks older than that.
Is he only 73?
He's only 73. I swear to God, he looks older than Joe Biden.
Gee, he's in trouble. Let me look at the card.
73 and having a Mitch glitch.
God, he's only 5 minutes older than me. Oh, God. Guys, you have to tell me when the time comes.
Turning 74 this year, I should say, in November.
Oh, Jesus. But that's what I don't get. Stay engaged in public life. I don't think you have to, pull the blinds down and shut the door. Not these day-to-day, back-to-back meetings, high-powered decisions, His health. Well, there's some confusion about his health. There's confusion about his age for a start. Why does he look 106? Just a reminder to people new to tarot, we tend to flip always with pentacles being money and things, but it's also rules the body and health. And he's clinging on, okay. But his health is compromised. And that's all I'll say about an old man.
There is a new medication he needs because there is misfirings in things that are happening, is what I get.
Okay.
Possible clot too. Not major, maybe, but possible because I get the whole 2 streams thing, and so there may be a clot there too. But definitely misfirings and a medication that's needed, maybe a thinner or something of that nature, Paxil. And so that's what I get.
First of all, he drinks too much, but he definitely is having like mini strokes, something in the central nervous system, affecting the brain. But it's also the circulation. It's clogged up. So whether it's cholesterol or whatever, he probably needs some stents put in. but it's affecting his brain. So I'm getting mini strokes. He has a bad back also, and some mobility issues. So along with the mini strokes, you may start seeing him trip more and that kind of thing. I get he's had COVID too. I don't know if anybody knows, but I get he's had COVID, and that might have changed some things in his body. Yeah, he's not doing well.
No.
He needs to be visiting his doctor a little more routinely because there's something going on.
Yes.
Well, Lena, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Always a fun to read with you.
I had a great time.
We always have fun with you. We don't know if Becca's going to be with us next Sunday night, so we're supposed to be on Becca's channel next Sunday. Watch our posts on our community tabs. We'll put we'll be on Johnny's channel if we're not on Becca's.
And get well, Becca.
Yeah. No rush, Becca. Come back when you're feeling better.
Watch Jen's community tab because she'll post it there when she gets an update. I post camel videos on mine.
And thank you to the moderator. You did a great job. Thank you.
Oh, they are awesome. Thank you for the super chats too. If I missed anybody, we will see you next week at either my Johnny's channel or Becca's channel. Thank you again, and have a safe week.
And see you.